Hello again and welcome back to my channel. So let me just get my camera in a better position. Firstly, let me give you a view of my outside again. So last time it was raining, this time a little bit of sunshine, maybe. Again, for those who haven't followed me, I'm working from home, I live in Hong Kong. This is the view from my office, well, kids' bedroom type of thing. So let me just reset. Okay, so welcome back to the channel. So last week I talked about the idea of having a focus for myself, which hopefully will be benefits for other people going forward, whereby I will focus on trying to improve certain parts of my life. So I've kind of segmented it into finance, into health, into hustle, stroke career, into other stuff, and really just to kind of record some of my progress over the week and maybe be an inspiration to yourselves, things that you could try out yourselves. Again, I don't have any or all of the answers in terms of personal growth and progression, but you know, as another bloke that has human frailties, you know, we all have to give things a go. So I tried out a few things this week, and yeah, see what resonates, see what doesn't. So just looking at my list in front of me. So firstly, on the finance front, so last week I talked about signing up to the Rebel Finance School, which is a free YouTube course that I've signed up for. I think it's a 10-week course, and now this is week 2. The 2-hour sessions, but obviously I do the speeded up version, etc., etc. And I guess one thing that it's interesting. I have a background in finance, so some of the things I know, but I do also realise I have blind spots. So this is really about me addressing some of those blind spots. And one of the things I realised was my allocation of savings to investments are imbalanced. In other words, I kind of have more money saved in a savings account that I should be putting into an investment account for the longer term. So without going into the ins and outs of the value, the merits of investing and versus saving, the reality is I should be looking at the longer term potential return from investments compared to the security that you get from having cash in a deposit account, but you're not going to be necessarily beating inflation. You're not going to be growing your money very fast. So one thing I did this week was to shift some of my cash into an investment. So an ETF, an exchange traded fund, which basically tracks the market. And yeah, I had money sitting there. It's like, why is it sitting here? So I put it to work. So from my perspective, that was a win in terms of the finance. I'm just going to tick it off. Win. Health. So health is probably my biggest focus this week, because I've talked in the past that I have these health dynamics, a lack of sleep, achy bones or aches, etc., etc., which part and parcel of getting older. You know, when you hit the older millennial into Gen X space, you will start feeling it. So you have to work harder to stand still, as I like to say. And so this week I did a lot. And again, health is partly physical, but also emotional, spiritual, and so on. So this week, firstly, at work, they have been doing it's a a wellness month. I think that's what they call it. So this week I did a lunchtime session based on stretching and based on trying to alleviate pains that come from sitting at your desk all the time. And I'm an office worker, and so this isn't a proper office. I'm an office worker, and so I sit at my desk for way too long. I need to stand up more. So it was things like stand up or try to do some form of stretch or exercise every 20 minutes for 20 seconds. So 20-20 was one of the principles. Other things were certain stretches that they suggested. I'm not going to do them all here, but that was useful because I know it's now telling me more and more that I should be doing more in the way of stretching during the day and not waiting until the end of the day or waiting until I get to the gym. So stretching. I also yesterday joined a webinar that was about sleep and insomnia. And it was a 1 hour session. The irony was I could only stay for half an hour because it went into my lunchtime, and historically on a daily basis I go for a quick nap, 10-minute nap on a park bench. It's what I do at lunchtime, which helps me refresh myself for the afternoon. But it did remind me of a few things I need to do in terms of improving my sleep. So reducing the amount of screen time late in the evening, being aware of the types of foods I eat in the evening that have sugar content, for example. I don't really do much in the way of caffeine, so that's not an issue. And it's this idea that a lot of insomnia is driven by issues around physiology, so your body, again, aches and pains, for example, your breathing, so sleep apnea, where you have some certain blockages or restrictions in terms of your breathing patterns, and obviously mental, which is you ruminate over things that have happened during the day, you worry about things going to happen in the future, that kind of thing. And so it's very useful to at least look into these things. Again, that was all yesterday, and then I had a bad night's sleep anyway. But it did tell me certain things. It did kind of give me a framework to now start to apply, to at least try to get ahead. So I'm just making sure I've got my system on. I am still working. Okay, and so that was another thing. But also this morning, one of my apps on my phone is for a meditation program, so meditation app called Medito, Medito. Check it out, it's free. I've no skin in the game, but I think it's always very useful. And they have a course, I think it's a 15-day course on Taoism, Taoism, the practical use of Taoism in relation to meditation. And it talks about breathing. And I've been doing all these different breathing techniques. I've tried another one earlier this week, which is kind of useful. But yeah, I think this Taoism dynamic could be useful because it's not just about breathing. It's about how to embrace a philosophy that is kind of like Buddhism, but it's not. I mean, I'm explaining it very badly. I'm going to have to look into it more. But it's about kind of adapting to the world, accepting things as they are, as you are, and embracing the ups and downs of being human, and going with the intentional flow. Again, this is not the best explanation of it, but it does capture some of what I learned. So this is something I started the first day of the course today. So I'm going to endeavour to apply the learnings on a daily basis, and I'll report back next week, hopefully next week, to give you a sense of how things have gone. So that's health. So I've actually done a few things on that front. Yeah, sleep is still a massive issue for me. That's something I'm going to address, but that's another thing. Right, on the hustle side, not a lot this week. I haven't really pushed for any of my business things I've done in the past. The one thing I did do though is I tried out an AI technique that I heard on a podcast. So the podcast is Squiggly Careers. So Squiddly, Squiddly, something like that. So you can look it up. It's all about careers and how to kind of evolve yourself and career development and so on. And they have they looked at 4 different ways in which to use AI in your career evolution. And the one that I thought about, or the one I applied, was to do with LinkedIn. So the idea is you have your LinkedIn profile. You take the link of your LinkedIn profile, put it into ChatGPT, and say to ChatGPT, how can I better maximize my LinkedIn profile based on what I want to present about myself. I want to be known for X, Y, and Z. I want these skills to come out, etc. And it looks through your profile and throws up all these suggestions. Now, ChatGPT ain't perfect. For example, first time round, it pulled out the wrong person. Someone with the same name as me, it wasn't me. But when I went back to it and said, no, wrong guy, wrong country, it's this guy, this kind of role, this kind of country, it came back with some interesting insights. So give it a go. Again, this is use AI, use your LinkedIn profile, put the link in, and see what kind of advancements and suggestions it has to, that might help you. Again, this is all incremental progress. It's not meant to be revolution, any of this. It's just like slowly evolving. So week by week with these videos, hopefully something new will come out of all of this. The only other thing, I guess, is in terms of it's relationships. The last few years, again, because of kids and stuff, I haven't been as proactive in connecting with friends. It's partly because I've been tired a lot, partly because I've been distracted, but I feel the need to engage. And because by sheer chance, lots of different friends are coming to town. I live in Hong Kong, so well away from where I grew up. I'm going to be in a position to connect with them. And I caught up with a good school friend last weekend who came to town, who's literally going to be in town for one night, in from Singapore. I probably only see him about once a year these days. And we had a really good catch up. And it's kind of the sort of thing that's a reminder that we all need to have those long-term connections. We've got to have those. We've got to continue to develop those long-term connections. That's what I meant to say. It was good. I have different friends in and around me, but they're not people I've known since I was a child. They're not people that I've got so much history with that even though I haven't seen them for a year, we can just step back into the old conversations and new conversations and know each other's ways of thinking. So that was good. I've got another friend coming into town a week and a half, direct from the UK. Another old acquaintance, less of a friend, acquaintance, I'll probably see next week. So these are good. This is good. So again, it's all about evolving life. That's really it this week. I think it's very important to be intentional, and I know that I can be more intentional, but I'm grateful that certain opportunities have arisen in the last week. The courses existed and I signed up for them. My friend came to town and I met up with him. So I'm grateful that these opportunities arose, and I'm grateful that I took the opportunity to embrace them. At the same time, I've got to proactively look at ways in which to continue to enhance these areas that I've focused on. Okay, so yeah, if you want to follow my journey, if you want to also try this kind of thing as well, please do it. You know, I've been doing these videos for probably about a year and a half. The original idea was I hated speaking in front of a camera. I'm not 100% confident these days, to be fair, but I'm a hell of a lot more comfortable than I used to be. And so I would always see YouTube as a way in which to practice this skill. It might not ever make any money, this channel, and that's okay. This is going to be my library that I can refer to and learn from in the future. And I would suggest that you try setting up a channel, maybe even model it on the same approach that I'm doing now. Just recording how your life is going, how you're moving forward, and hopefully there'll be one person out there that will be inspired to try what you're trying. So yeah, if you want to follow my journey, like and subscribe. And yeah, let's just keep moving forward, because the world won't stop, you know, even if we do. Okay, bye for now.